Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. The Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program is a 30-minute radio intervention support program that is meant to provide continuous instruction to keep you academically engaged during this stay-at-home period, as well as preparing you, our 6th, 9th, and 12th graders for the pending Liberia Primary School Certificate Exam, Liberia Junior High School Certificate Exam, and West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Exam when the time comes. Also, in addition to this academic support, the program is meant to provide psychosocial support for learners, teachers, and parents, and also tips on how you as parents and teachers can provide support to your students and children at home. Now, let's join our teacher for today's lesson.
Hello listeners, parents, guardians, and learners. My name is Henia Fawini along with
Maeve Wisnan Bomo.
And together we will be teaching you for today, lesson 6. Welcome. Our theme is My Neighborhood. And the sub-theme for this week is Introducing Community Helper. But for today's lesson, we will be talking about community helpers. Please take your pencil or pen and copybook and get ready for today's lesson. Parents and guardians, please listen and guide your children ages 3 to 5 of the preschool environment through this lesson. Again, welcome and let's learn. At the end of this lesson, parents or guardians will be able to help children talk about helpers within the community. Help children explain different jobs of various community helpers. Help children list the types of community helpers and help children blend forward and counseling. Materials needed for this lesson include visual of community helpers, newspapers or markers in pictures of different community helpers, scissors, pencil, and glue. Parents and guardians, please gather together the materials I have listed in order to begin our lesson. Now, let's take a break, and when we return, Miss Maeve Wisdom Bomo will take us through our lesson for today.
Coronavirus is spread via droplets. When the person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
Welcome back, parents and guardians. Let's begin our lesson for today. We will now sing our welcome song. Please sing along as the song plays.
How about you?
last lesson, we learned about markets and playgrounds. We learned about things that can be found in the market and activities we can do on the playground, which help to build our big and small muscles. We also learned that both markets and playgrounds are important. Our topic for today is entitled Community Helpers. Parents and guardians, talk to your child or children about helpers within their communities. Say to your child or children, let's talk about the different helpers in our communities and the important jobs they do. Parents and guardians, tell your child or children that community helpers are people who live and work in our communities. Say some community helpers are teachers, doctors, nurses, policemen, soldiers, bus drivers, motorbike riders, tricycle or keke drivers, garbage collectors, gardeners, and cook or chef. These people do different kinds of jobs that make a community a better place. For example, a teacher teaches us how to read and write. They also encourage us to go to school. The nurse helps us to keep healthy. The nurse also helps sick people in the community to get well. The policemen help us to keep safe during the day and night. The policemen also help us to cross the road. Parents or guardians, ask your child or children these questions. Where can we find a teacher? Pause and allow the child or children to respond. If the child says the correct answer, say very good. If the child says something else, say to the child, a teacher is found in the classroom and also in our communities. What kind of work do you think a nurse do? If the child says the correct answer, say very good. If the child says something else, say a nurse helps us to keep healthy. A nurse also helps sick people to get well. A nurse can be found in a hospital, clinics, and in the community. Parents and guardians, if there is any nurse in your community, you can use that person as an example. Parents or guardians, say to your child or children, do you think you will be a community helper? Pause and wait for the child to answer. Which community helper would you like to be? Pause and allow the child or children to answer. Whatever helper the child says, say to the child, that is very good. Then ask again, why would you like to be this community helper? Whoever the child will name, pause and allow the child to answer. Whatever reason the child gave, say to the child, very good, and give yourself a clap. Parents or guardians, you can also add one role of that community helper the child would want to become. Now, we are going to ask you a few questions. Hold up the different drawings and pictures of community helpers. Make sure that children know what they are, what the names are, and ask the children, which community helper is this? Ask your child or children, where do the community helper live? Pause and allow the child or children to answer. If the child is correct, then say, good job. If the child says something else, say, community helper lives in the communities. What color of clothes do you think nurses wear? Pause, allow the child or children to answer. If the child or children is correct, then say, good job. If the child or children says something else, then say, nurses usually wear white clothes. What color of clothes do you think policemen wear? Pause and allow the child or children to answer. If the child or children is correct, then say, good job. If the child or children says something else, then say, policemen wear navy blue clothes. How many community helpers did we talk about? Pause and allow the child to answer. If the child is correct, then say, good job. If the child says something else, then say, there are many community helpers, but we talked about 3 community helpers: a teacher, a nurse, and a policeman. Parents or guardians, say to your child, Now I'm going to read a story. I want you to listen carefully. The story is entitled Community Helpers. In a little town called Dwazon, Maeve was walking her children to school one morning. As they arrived by the side of the busy road, there was a huge traffic that caught their attention. Suddenly, a policeman called Bono, directing the traffic from a distance, noticed that they needed to cross the road. He immediately lifted the red stop sign for cars to stop and allow Maeve and her children to cross the road and went on to the school. When they arrived at the school, they were welcomed by Teacher Lauren with a big smile on her face. Teacher Lauren is the kindergarten teacher who teaches children how to read and write. While at school, one of Maeve's children named Amos fell sick and began crying on Teacher Lauren. The teacher quickly called on Justina, who is the school nurse. She took Amos to the school clinic and administered treatment. After a few hours, when Amos felt better, Maeve was called in to take him home. At home, Maeve began to tell Amos that all of those who helped you are all community helpers, and he smiled. This is the end of our story. Isn't it a wonderful story? Now, let's see if you are listening. I'm going to ask you some questions from the story. The community helper that helped Maeve and her children to cross the road is called what? Pause and repeat. The community helper that helped Maeve and her children to cross the road is called what? What community helper helped Amos to get well when he was sick? Pause and repeat. Which community helper helped Amos to get well when he was sick? Which community helper teaches children how to read and write? Which community helper teaches children how to read and write? Pause and repeat. Which community helper teaches children how to read and write? Now, let's see if the answers are correct. The community helper that helped Maeve and her children to cross the road is called what? The community helper that helped Maeve and her children to cross the road is called the policeman. Which community helper helped Amos to get well when he was sick? The community helper that helped Amos to get well when he was sick is called a nurse. Which community helper teaches children how to read and write? The community helper that teaches children how to read and write is called a teacher. You did a great job. Now, parents, tell your child or children to draw one community helper of their choice and color it. Note, do not explain any type of community helper other than what has been mentioned in the lesson. This will assess prior knowledge and listening comprehension. Before we close, let us review what we did today. Today, we talked about community helpers. We learned that there are many community helpers and they do different jobs. They live and work within their communities. We also learned about 3 different community helpers: a teacher, a policeman, and a nurse. Thank you for participating in today's lesson. See you again next time for our next lesson. Please remember to always wash your hands with clean water and soap as frequent as possible, at least every 20 minutes. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds when you are washing your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or paper towel when you sneeze or cough and throw it away in a trash can and wash your hands. If you do not have a tissue, then sneeze or cough in your elbow and not in your hands. Always wash your hands before you touch any part of your face. Please follow these measures to stay safe. Coronavirus is real. If you have any question or comment, please text to the following numbers: 0776 851085, 0886 489 241. Thank you for listening and have a pleasant day.
Amen.